Hello everyone, my name is Pawan and I welcome you all towards our YouTube channel. And today we are starting with an initiative within 15 minutes how to learn all the important questions from Constitution is what we are going to learn for today. If you have not learned for AIB exam until now, koi baat nahi. This video is going to cover up all the repeated previous year question papers that you should be knowing it without fail and what are the most repeated questions coming for the exam. In just 15 minutes, we'll complete the pura syllabus of Constitution, but I want all of you to listen carefully. Okay, in which case it was decided that preamble is not part of the constitution? Was it Indre Barubari case, Keshananda Bharati case, Menaka Gandhi case, and SR Bommai case? Very simple. In Indre Barubari case, they decided that preamble is not part of the constitution. Okay. Whereas in which case they decided that preamble is part of the constitution, it was in Keshananda Bharati case. Remember this. In which case they said that it's not part of the constitution, Indre Barubari case. In which case they decided preamble is part of the constitution, Keshananda Bharati case. Now, ban on smoking in public place is a violation of which one of the following articles of the constitution? That is article 21. See, you can smoke in public place, but because of your smoking, if it is affecting people at large, then it is violation of article 21. Okay, it was said in the case of, what is the case of it? It's called Murali S Diora case. Murali S Diora case. You should be knowing this particular case name. Murali Murali S Diora case. Just take a screenshot or write it down somewhere. That also would be fine. Okay, and you know what is 14, right? Equality. 25 speaks about what? Freedom to profess practice religion. All 25 comes. 20 is what? No person shall be convicted except in violation of the law. So you cannot be arrested except violation of law. Part 4A regarding fundamental duties was added in the Constitution of India by what amendment? See, very simple. For such kind of question, just go to the barrack. See, these questions you can surely get full mark. Just go to your barrack. If you, for me, the page number is almost like, page number, the first index page itself, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 is about what? Fundamental duties. Okay, now if you just go to this particular chapter, just go to chapter 4A. For me it's page number 18. Just quickly open a barrack along with me. Part 4A, go to index page, go to part 4A, open page number 18. Once you open part 4A, can you see that footnotes? Not sure whether you can see over here. Can you just see that footnotes over here? Yeah, it's something called as 3 part 4A. I think I'll just bring little. Okay, yeah, can you see that? So this footnote says that you need to look over here. So as per this footnotes, it was inserted in 42nd amendment. So jo bhi footnotes are there, you can directly get over here the marks. 42nd amendment, just put an yellow mark. Okay, so wherever you feel the footnotes are there directly you can copy paste the answer. The state in connection with directive principles. So if you observe in DPSP, they said that any matters of the state, it is directly related to the fundamental rights. So jo bhi meaning of fundamental DPSP, it is there. It is similar to the fundamental rights. For example, the concept of state comes under DPSP, right? So that same thing they're saying that Joby it's mentioned in DPSP, that is similar meaning of the state. So what is state? Article 12, right? So fundamental rights has the same meaning given reference to the fundamental rights. This is the correct answer. I hope you all understood it. Now, quickly going to the next one. The duty of the chief minister regarding furnishing the information to the governor is provided in the constitution. Which particular article? It is provided in article 167. Joby, very simple. Go to your barrack, look at the index page, look at 165, 166, 178, 167, 168. So you'll be finding the correct answer. That is article 167 is the right answer. Okay, this is a quick rapid revision round. Take a screenshot. Koi baat nahi. I want all of you to pass. That's it. This is my intent. But join a WhatsApp group. I'll be dropping the link in the description box. Join a WhatsApp community. It's like you have to register through NAS and join. It's completely free. All the extra materials jo bhi I have, I'll also be sharing that in the group. Okay, take care. Now, state which of the following statement is correct. Okay, which statement is correct? The American doctrine of waiver of fundamental rights is part of Indian constitution. No, like America, we cannot waive our fundamental rights. No, that's not possible. Whereas no person can waive his fundamental rights under the Indian constitution as they are sacrosanct. What do you mean by it? See, now sacrosanct means what? Sacrosanct means in simple language, it's a natural justice. Fundamental right is like a natural justice. You cannot waive it off. Okay, you cannot waive it off. Like considering the countries like America, you cannot do it. This was said in the case of Bashikar Nath versus the Bashikar Nath was the CI case. Okay, I hope this is clear for you. That means that fundamental rights you cannot waive in India. Which case? Bashikar Nath versus the CI case. The Chief Election Commissioner can be removed from his office by whom in their manner and grounds as applicable for the removal of judges of Supreme Court. Like how you will be removing a judge of Supreme Court, that same way you can remove the Election Commissioner. Okay. Now, Article 39A of the Indian Constitution relates to what? Okay, go to your Barrett quickly, you'll be able to find it out. In the index page, really quickly, if you just go to, you'll be able to find an article 39A speaks about equal justice and free legal aid. That is the correct answer. Okay. Now, under which of the following conditions a writ of mandamus can be granted? A writ of mandamus can be granted, which are the conditions? There must be a public duty. Okay, there are four options given, but I've just written it down. Okay, ABC is the right answer. What do you mean by mandamus? Mandamus means we command. Pavanesis is an IAS officer. Okay, if I am not performing my public duty, then mandamus can be issued. There must be a specific demand and refusal. A demand was made, but still I'm not considering it. Okay, that then a mandamus can be filed. There must be clear right to enforce the duty. What do you mean by clear right to enforce the duty? Very simple. There must be a right. As a public officer, it was my right to do a particular act, but if I don't do it, I'll be punishable. So these three options are the correct. This their right must be subsisting in the date of petition. That means that only the present petition, present cases you can do. Something which I didn't do 10 years back, if you go and complain, no, it is not possible. Common logic, common sense. Okay. Now next question, the which is not related to the freedom to manage religious affairs under the Constitution of India. So religious affairs, this one, which option does not come? Quickly, you will tell the answer. Is it to establish, maintain religious or charitable purposes, to manage its own affairs and matter of religion, to administer properly in accordance with the law, to payment of taxes for the promotion of any particular religion? So the option is to payment of taxes to any particular religion. This is the correct answer. You just need to know this particular thing. If you go to Article 25, 26, 27, you will get this answer. Just go to your barrack and tell me, is it correct or not? Because if you don't go through now, no, then there's no point of learning it. 11th question. Which is not related to freedom to manage religious affairs under Constitution of India? Okay. So the answer is very simple over here, because we already learned that is for the payment of the taxes. Payment of the tax. I repeated this question by mistakenly, so yeah, you can just leave it. Now, which of the following grounds is necessary to be provided in order to remove a speaker of any legislative assembly? See, it is actually none of the above, because I want all of you to go refer the Article 179 of the Constitution. If you refer, they have said that you speaker cannot be, like, they have not mentioned in the Constitution precisely that speaker will be removed on the aspects of misbehavior, incapacity of conduct involving moral aptitude. Nothing like that. They just mention it, what the speaker should be following so and so respective terms. If they don't follow, they'll be removed. That's this particular term. They've not mentioned about these particular grounds. Just refer Article 179. You will get a clarity. Okay, you need to go to Barrack now. Only if you go to Barrack, you'll be able to relate it. If not, if I just simply by heart you the answers, it will not go inside your brain. Okay. Legal maxim authorofis is related to what? Authorofis is related to double jeopardy. Remember always, maxim authorofis is related to double jeopardy. You should be not forgetting this. Authorofis is related to the rule against double jeopardy under Article 20 subclause 2 of the Indian Constitution. And the person must be accused of offense. The prosecution must be before the court of tribunal. The person must have been prosecuted and punished in the previous proceedings. So the answer is about this one. Okay, the person must have been prosecuted and punished in the previous proceeding. Now, what do you mean by double jeopardy? That means that no person cannot be punished for the same offense twice. For example, Pavan has basically committed a murder. I cannot be punished in the murder again now and again in different court on the same offense. No, for different offense I can be punished. The murder or theft, then separately I'll be punished, but not for the same offense. So Article 17 of the Indian Constitution deals with what? It deals with abolition of untouchability. You should be knowing it. SCST Prevention Atrocity Act comes here. Take a screenshot also, koi baat nahi. You should be learning all this particular question. The word socialist secular were inserted in preamble in which amendment of the Constitution. Very simple, yeah. Go to your first page of your Constitution. See, preamble is always in the where it is in the first page of the Constitution. No matter what, you should be never getting confused. Preamble comes in what? In the first page of the Constitution. If you just observe, it's written over here. No? We the people of India, sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic. There you will find this one. Number one over there you will find. Okay, I hope, I'm not sure whether you can see it over here. Number one, if you see, that's a footnote. It says that 42nd Amendment, it was basically been introduced. So these questions only you should never miss here. That's what I'm telling you. 10 marks, 5 to 6 questions, aram se you can do it. A and B agree that A shall pay B rupees 500, for which B shall afterwards deliver to acquittal with a smuggling pistol. So now this is something apart from the Contract Act. I'm just teaching it to you. The agreement to deliver to the wheat is void, but the agreement is void as it is pistol. So any kind of agreement you are trying to do, which is against the what against a mere, which is illegal or something, that itself becomes void. So just want to tell you one contract question, because I little break from constitute what we're learning. Okay, now let's quickly learn. The principle of sovereign immunity will not apply to a proceeding for an award of compensation for the violation of fundamental rights. That means, right, if you are the sovereign, okay, now sovereign people will not be provided any kind of immunity from fundamental rights was decided in the case of Rudal Shah versus state of Bihar. Okay. So for example, even though if you're king or something, you will not be providing any immunity from fundamental rights was decided in the case of Rudal Shah versus the state of Bihar. Whereas they said that sovereign immunity will be awarded for the violation of the fundamental rights was decided in Kasturi Lal versus the state of UP. Okay, just remember even this. The courts are flooded with large number of PIL, so it is decided for the courts to filter out the frivolous petition. So which case did they decide this? Holico Pictures Private Limited versus the Premchand case. Remember this quickly. Very important question. You just need to know it. Okay. The Supreme Court partially struck down 97th Amendment to the Constitution of India in a landmark case of 2021. The amendment deals with what? So this is little by hearting one, nothing much to remember. This is actually your cooperative society. Okay. 97th Amendment Act. If any question has been asked, remember it's about what cooperative society. I'm just marking over here. In which of the following cases the Maratha quota reservation was struck down? See, guys, this question all you have to by heart. Maratha short form is Patil. Patil people are a lot in Maratha. Okay, so you just need to by heart this particular case law because there's no other way to remember all these case laws. The short title of the Constitution of India is mentioned under which one? So short title and all, if you just go last of a barrack, you'll find all this like page number, like there's no page number for index page. 393 and all, if you go, you'll find it. Just go to your barrack, just go to this respective sections, you'll be able to answer it. Okay. Now, next important question is about assertion. Right to education is a fundamental right. Our constitution had no provision for education before making right to education as a fundamental right. So this was basically, actually A is true, but constitution did not make anything about right to education as a false statement. So this is the correct answer, this option. But remember, in which case they bought right to education as a fundamental right? It was in Unnikrishnan versus the state of UP. Just write it down somewhere. Unnikrishnan versus state of UP. Secularism is one of the five constituent of the Constitution of India. Has been held in which of the cases? It was in very simple SR Bommai versus Union of India. They said that secularism is part of the basic structure constitution. In which curative petition was innovated by the Supreme Court of India. So where, for example, all your remedies have been exhausted. Okay. And then finally you're going to Supreme Court. Okay. And then in order to, you're just going to Supreme Court for a curative petition, ask them to review it once again. And that was held in the case of Rupa Ashok Hurra versus Ashok Hurra case. Very important. You should be knowing, going through it without fail. Okay. Now, in which of the following case the Supreme Court struck down Section 66A of the IT Act? So in Section 66, so what happened in Shreyas Singhal versus Union of India case, I've already explained this, but in a quick nutshell, what happened in Maharashtra, there was actually there was one politician, like somebody basically passed away. Okay, so as part of it, they all asked, like it was completely shut down. Maharashtra, everything was shut down. So this girl, Shreya Singhal, she was a law student. She filed, she in online, she tweeted something against this particular thing, why they're doing and all. So people now started protesting. Now Shreya Singhal, when she went to the court and she said like this, the court said that you cannot violate it because it's like it's part of Article 19. So it's a freedom of speech to express it, and we cannot question on that particular ground. So Shreya Singhal versus Union of India, remember that Section 66A was basically struck down. In which of this case, state of Bihar versus Kameshwar Singh case is related to which one? It is actually what the doctrine of colorable legislation. Okay, just by heart this particular thing. Colorable legislation. The case of Unikrishnan versus state of Andhra Pradesh, it is about right to education. Don't forget this. Don't forget this. Right to abroad is which one? Menaka Gandhi case, passport case. Okay. Fair justice and equity was added in the constitution. Right to privacy is Keshananda Bharati case. Right to environmental free pollution is what? Which case is that? MC Mehta case. Okay. The Supreme Court was held at Union of India versus Naveen Jindal. So right to hoist the flag, national flag. That means you can hoist a national flag. That right was given in the right to hoist a national flag in Naveen Union of India versus Naveen Jindal case. Don't forget this. In which case the Supreme Court declared that preamble is part of the constitution. In which case, decided that preamble is part of the constitution. Keshananda Bharati case. This and all we already discussed. So I'm just little bit hurrying because you have very less time. You need to revise many other subjects too. In which of the following case has Supreme Court observed that judicial review is a basic structure constitution? Basic structure constitution, judicial review, which case? It is in L. Chandrakumar case. In America, which constitution did they decided that? In which case they decided that judicial review is part of the basic structure constitution? It is nothing but Malbury versus Madison case. Okay, Malbury versus Madison case. Just write it down somewhere. Malbury versus Madison case. The law declared by Supreme Court is binding on all courts in territory of India. Was decided in which case? Like for example, what Supreme Court says, all courts should follow it without fail. And that was decided in the case of Keshananda Bharati versus State of Kerala. Okay. Now, next case is about in a law which disqualifies a person with more than two children. So what happened in Haryana? They bought a law. Okay, if you're having more than two children, you cannot become panch or sarpanch, and that was decided in the case of Javed versus the state of Haryana case. And the Supreme Court said that it is not violation of anything. Article 14. Why? Because of the mere factor that, just think why it is, because to control the population. Selvi versus the state of Karnataka, no matter what, you should never be forgetting it's right against self-incrimination. Open your barrack right now, pause this video, look at Article 20, Clause 3, you'll get this answer for it. Okay. Now, in which case the Supreme Court of India held that voters have a right to know the antecedent of contesting candidates. So if I'm standing in election, the people should know my background, what all the crimes I've committed to everything, or my criminal track record. That was held in the case of which one? Union of India versus Association of Democratic Reforms. You should be knowing in this particular case. NJAC was basically being declared unconstitutional. So NJAC, what happened? Even the parliament legislative people can also decide the judges, who the judges are, how the selection process is going to be. And that was struck down in the case of Supreme Court Advocate and Record Association versus Union of India case. You should be knowing it without fail. Okay. In which case, the writ of habeas corpus was widened. So in which case was it? It was Sunil Batra versus the Delhi administration case. What they do? They actually increase the scope of what? Habeas corpus. Remember this. Do not forget it without fail. You should be remembering it. Okay. Now, the last question is about in which case the Supreme Court of India held that right to life does not include right to die. That is Gyankor versus right to life. You see, right to life is there, but you cannot right to die. That is not been provided. But I'll tell you one more important case, okay? In actually, just write it down somewhere. Bong versus Union of India case, they said that in the vegetative state, you can actually apply this right to die. That was basically in vegetative state. That is SHAN versus Union of India. What in vegetative state you can basically write. So that's all, guys. Make sure that AIB exam within 2 days you're learning everything and you're passing. Just by heart these questions. All the you can just join a WhatsApp group. Extra Joby materials is there. I'll be sharing it across. But take a screenshot of these questions. You can refer for it. Wish you all the best. Good luck. This is me, Pavan, signing off. Any doubts, just text in the comment. I'll be happy to connect you. Take care. Goodbye. This is me, Pavan, signing off.